You guys are going to be reading a poem called The New Colossus today. This poem actually appears at the base of the Statue of Liberty. So it's on a plaque like this because it's actually about the Statue of Liberty. So a couple things that I want you to know before you start reading. In line 1, when it says, "Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame with conquering limbs astride from land to land," that is an allusion to a statue called the Colossus. And you can see that the poem is called The New Colossus because we're kind of contrasting that old Colossus statue with the new Colossus, the Statue of Liberty. So here is what the original Colossus statue looked like. It's called the Colossus of Rhodes, and it is in Greece. Because it is an old, ancient statue, this is not what it actually looks like. Obviously, there aren't any photographs of it, but based on people's descriptions, it is assumed that it was probably bronze. It stood at the gates of like the port to get into Greece. So you can see that it has like its legs are almost like a bridge, and the boats would come into it. So this is meant to welcome people from other countries into Greece. But you can see that there's kind of a different tone between the Colossus of Rhodes and the Statue of Liberty. So the Colossus of Rhodes, with its arm kind of extended at that right angle, it's meant to show kind of strength, and it's meant to make the people who are entering Greece feel small and almost a little bit threatened. It's meant to show the power of the country. Whereas the Statue of Liberty positioned at a place where people were coming into the country at Ellis Island, she is meant to be kind of welcoming. So she holds up that beacon, just like the Colossus of Rhodes, but it's supposed to be kind of like a guiding light to bring people in. Even the fact that their genders are different, that we have the man here and the female here, she's more nurturing and caring, and he is kind of giving off powerful vibes instead of like, please come here. It's more like, look how mighty we are. So there's that contrast between the two of them. Also important is the fact that Emma Lazarus, the woman who wrote this poem, was descended from Jewish settlers in America. So her family had come here because they were fleeing their home country. And in the early 1880s, she spoke out against anti-Semitism, and she was helping Jewish refugees. So people who were fleeing anti-Jewish sentiment in Europe, she helped them get settled here in the United States. So she kind of has this very like pro-immigrant attitude that you'll see throughout the poem. You'll do 4 readings of this. So you will read the poem once, answer these questions about its structure. Here you will define, there's a lot of words in this poem that are difficult, so you're going to define them. Make sure that if there's multiple meanings of the word, choose the one that is correct for the poem. So check the poem and see if it makes sense. And as much as possible, use context clues and your own words here rather than just copying from a dictionary. These questions here are kind of what's it about. So when it asks, what is the brazen giant of Greek fame with conquering limbs astride from land to land, that references that Colossus statue, the Greek Colossus. And then down here are interpretive questions. You'll see here that we're contrasting the Greek statue versus the American statue, trying to interpret the poem a little bit. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew about that Colossus of Rhodes statue because it is very important to understand this poem. If you have any questions as you're working through it, shoot me an email. We can set up a Google Meet. I'm happy to help you out as long as you ask.